Beautiful. Shabbos, everybody, once again. We're going to begin our remarks for the evening. Now, today, you should have all received a beautiful, just packed Shabbat bag full of high holiday information, full of some toys and some goodies. It should have been delivered. Hopefully, you received it. It's really going to be important in a way because that bag is going to contain things inside it that's going to help guide our journey over the next 6 weeks. So if you have that bag somewhat accessible, now would be the time to grab the piece of fabric, a piece of cloth that is in the bag, because you're going to need it in just a moment. So I won't be offended. You can take a moment to grab it, and that'll be fine, because we're going to make good use of it in just a moment. So while we're all grabbing our fabric, I will take an opportunity to thank everybody, all of our volunteers who helped make this vision, again, of these Shabbat bags a reality. The staff worked really hard on thinking about and creating this experience. And as always, the volunteers come through and they help us realize our vision of what we'd like to see, especially for an event like this. We had 29, I think, drivers that helped deliver all of the bags today. We had people in the office stuffing the bags, helping put everything together, collating everything. And of course, all of the bakers, I can't forget, all of the bakers who made all of the goodies for the bags. So we really do appreciate it. It means so much, for us to be able to have those kinds of experiences, because it allows us in this time of separation to have those little face-to-face moments, to see everybody, to wish them good Shabbos and an early Shana Tova. So again, a big thank you to all of our tremendous, tremendous volunteers. So, as you can guess by the exuberance, tonight is, of course, our kickoff to the High Holy Day season. It's hard to believe, but we have now entered into the Hebrew month of Elul, and we have begun our march to the new year. During the time in between the start of Elul to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we take a metaphorical journey from brokenness to wholeness. As we approach this holiest time of the year, we acknowledge our faults, our flaws. We admit we have done things that we regret, and it has put a strain on our relationships with our family, with our friends, our God, and even our relationship with ourself. All of these misdeeds lead us to living in a state of brokenness. But then comes Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. On this transformational day, we stand before God and ask for forgiveness. And our tradition teaches us, if we are truly repentant, if we truly desire to change, then God grants us this atonement for our wrongdoing, thus healing our broken hearts and restoring our fractured souls. Our journey is complete. What was torn is now mended. One of the enduring rituals in our tradition is the ripping, the rending of our clothes or a ribbon when someone we love passes away. When we engage in this act of tearing, we are acknowledging that our hearts are torn in a time of grief. It is a physical expression of our emotional pain. During the past few months, we have all experienced loss. Someone we love may have fallen ill or, God forbid, died due to the coronavirus. And if we have not lost someone near to us, we may still feel the pain of the over 170,000 individuals in the United States who have succumbed to this virus and the millions more who have been treated for it. But this virus has also caused us to suffer other losses. We feel most acutely the loss caused by being distant from family, friends, and our synagogue community, the lack of personal connection, the loss of our jobs, anxiety about our financial future, the necessity of postponing or canceling life cycle events or having to celebrate them differently, canceling much anticipated vacations, not being able to go to our favorite restaurants, our entertainment venues. We have lost our sense of normalcy and our peace of mind. And we may be feeling reasons, a sense of loss for other reasons than the pandemic. Situations may have arisen in our life which leave us feeling bereft, helpless, or hopeless. Things that are out of our control. They may be things that we have told our families and friends, or things we have kept to ourselves. Our grief, our pain is real. As we begin our journey to the new year, let us now take a moment to acknowledge these feelings. Let us allow ourselves the space and the grace to admit that there are things in our life which make us feel torn, not whole. For only by recognizing our own brokenness can we begin to heal, to find our way back to wholeness, a sense of shalom. I'm now going to invite Cantor Orengel to now explain our next steps. Shabbat Shalom.
So each week we have a different guiding principle. And this very first week, we felt it was really important to start with acknowledgement. Because if we're going to end this journey feeling complete, we need to start this journey by being honest with ourselves and acknowledging the reality of where we are. And each of us are in a different spot. We've had different experience, different loss, different pain, and all of them are as legitimate as the square next to us. So when we think about that tearing of cloth when someone dies, it changes something from whole to broken. And each of you have this cloth, and as families, we're going to take the opportunity this week to acknowledge those losses, to acknowledge the hurt for not getting to celebrate a graduation or any of the different things that the rabbi mentioned. And we're going to use this cloth as that visual representation, and we're going to physically create space, and we're going to physically tear. We're going to make the holes on the outside that maybe we're feeling on the inside. There are lots of different ways that you might make a hole. You might tear, you might cut. Some of your broken might seem larger and need a bigger gap. Ultimately, if we start with acknowledgement and we end with the holidays and a sense of wholeness, we have to, after we've broken our cloth and we've acknowledged those pieces that are in need of repair, we're going to go through the process of repairing this cloth. And it's going to be different for each and every one of us. For some of us, there might still be a gap left behind because whatever that hole is that got created, it's not fully sewn up. But we are going to go through a mending process with this cloth. And hopefully, in starting with acknowledgement and healing this piece of cloth, we might start to heal ourselves. So when that's over, in fact, before you even got this cloth, about a dozen different people have already started the work to take the bolts of fabric apart so that we could each have a square. Once we have gone through that healing process together, we're going to collect all of these. And they're all going to look different, and some of them will be a little bit more gnarly than others, and that's good. Then we're going to take these and we are going to weave them together, because at the end of the day, much like these boxes, we hold each other up from side to side. And we're going to move from those boxes on a screen one day to being together, physically holding each other up. And we're going to take these boxes, these squares, and we're going to weave them together and create a chuppah of healing. And when we gather, God willing, next high holidays, we will stand underneath it and celebrate our resiliency in a time of so much unknown, that we were able to grasp onto those around us, to weave our stories together with our neighbors. And we are going to sing, and we are going to dance, and we are going to remind ourselves that we came through a really scary time, and we will come through that scary time as a community. So we're going to talk more in the coming weeks about how we're going to mend this. But I want you to start this week by taking some time to start to tear and to see what are the holes inside of you that you're going to represent here. A reminder, don't throw any piece of it out. If it ends up being in pieces, hold on to it, because like I say, we want to put ourselves back together. And don't cut a corner off, because eventually the more of the center portion is what's going to become that chuppah of healing. So the edges will eventually get taken off so that all of them are the same shape, the same size. I look forward to that day. A time will come when we can stand hand in hand, arm in arm, underneath these representations of our brokenness and eventually our healing. May that day come soon, and may we dream of that day and hold on to it tight.